Hi, this is John Connell. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX 360, and I'm joined today by model Jeremiah Van Wagenen. Hi, Jeremiah. How are you?
Hey Don, I'm great. How are you today?
Oh, thank you, man. It's great to see you, and thanks for being here with us on FENIX 360. And I wanted to share some of your journey with our viewers. Basically what it might be for an aspiring model who's interested in getting into the industry, and also a project that you've been working on that is fascinating and really terrific we want to share. So let's see a little bit of the content now that you've got featured on Instagram, shall we?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jeremiah with Project Fabulosity. A Project Fabulosity go-to, if someone is being too extra, why not support them and letting them go all the way? And if someone hasn't found that extra spark, why not encourage them and support them in finding and figuring how fabulously extra they can be?
Hi, Jeremiah. Thanks so much. It's great to see you featured there on Instagram. And so a couple of things here. First of all, I'd like to hear about your modeling career and, some of the challenges or some of the ways that a new aspiring model might get in the industry and some things to consider.
I've been blessed to have been modeling. I was in my first art exhibit as a model when I was 15, closed, of course, for Out of the Closet exhibit in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I made my rounds with all the local modeling agencies in Utah, which they guided me to do my own book work and go to New York because I have a look, I have a style, I have a walk. And I'm glad that they told me that instead of making me go through all of the runarounds of paying for things that I maybe necessarily didn't need, or training just so they got money as their own setup. They were pretty forward, direct, and honest with me, and I appreciated it. So when I was 18, I modeled for some of the local art schools in Salt Lake City. And then in 2004, I moved over to New York and I pursued modeling there, mainly art modeling, but I was thankful to work light fashion, editorial, and a lot of promotional work in New York, along with becoming a fashion host for Metrobox TV, which in 2008 area was a temporary site to build a community web with connecting them with professionals throughout the industries, not only with fashion, which I was a fashion host for, um, but anything community oriented, from music to dance and so forth. And they have professionals in those fields. So during that time, I did a lot of art modeling for all of the schools, local studios, and I was blessed and privileged to be a muse to several great artists who I worked with for over a year plus. And it's been a great career. And now I'm temporarily back in Salt Lake City area with the changes of COVID
Right.
and creating new projects, including one that we'll get to, Project Fabulosity, as well as a model project I've created called Be Your Own Muse.
Be your own muse. I like
Your
that
own,
title. Yeah,
be
tell
your
us.
own muse.
I want to hear about Project Fabulosity for sure, but tell me about first Be Your Own Muse.
Thank you. Be Your Own Muse started when I, with COVID, I thought, how can I promote myself and how can I make myself relevant in the now of COVID, being restricted of working with artists hand in hand. Then I thought a bit deeper. Why is it so important to be our own muse? We live in the world, chaotic world of selfies and self-promotion. And some people are just doing this as a social thing. But then I thought, how can I take this to heart? If you're an upcoming model of any sorts, and if you are taking these self pictures, try to find your depth. Why do you want to be a model? Why do you find yourself amusing? And So I've been working on a series of self-portraits, mainly from my art model background, with why I find myself amusing and try to have more of an in-depth narrative of that. I've been blessed to have a following from via my art model background of people who've kept up with me, artists, art models, and so forth, who have kind of helped promote each other with this project of supporting this project of Be Your Own Muse. Um, I think it's a great opportunity to give yourself a good exercise working with a phone cam, working with an actual camera, of why posing, what you can do with posing, whether it's portrait or body, or even finding your niche with fashion and getting your clothes out to experiment with why you find yourself amusing and why other artists, photographers, professionals in the industry would find you amusing as well.
That's
And it's
cool, Jeremiah. I love it. You know what I mean? To me, you're a model's model. You know what I mean? You're someone in essence who has had this experience and can share um, really some of the powerful ways that people can become more relevant. And I think that's beautiful. Now, how does that translate into what you're doing with Project Fabulosity?
Project Fabulosity is my baby. I've been working on Project Fabulosity for 5 years and has, my
Yeah,
background, I've done a bit of model coaching. I've taught people how to walk. I've inspired people just to get out into the industry. And where it came from, I was working in a toxic work environment full time. And the greatest thing I gained from that experience, I became toxic in a toxic work environment. And I would never want anyone to go through this. I've been
same
fully
kind of
vocal
thing.
about my experience. Yeah, and it's with what I wish I had in that environment was support. And we come to find out so many people are in toxic work environments but are afraid to pick up and move on, whether it's at home, at work, in a social setting. You're there because you know it's some kind of support. And it's so important to find positive support. And so Project Fabulosity is all about finding your inner to outer diva and divo while supporting others breaking through their journey and doing the same. Um, throughout
That's
my Instagram.
great, man. I
Yeah,
love it, because it's just so important. If you're in a toxic environment, in a negative environment, sooner or later, you end up mirroring that same kind and having to operate in that same negativity, where just the alternate is true. In a positive environment, you lift people up and turn people's lamps up, and that frequency is so important. And it sounds like with both your projects, Jeremiah, that's exactly what you're concentrating on doing, is helping to actually light, and so people can follow and learn how to become, more positive, more impactful, more relevant. So I applaud you, man, and I really am looking forward to people discovering you. And I hope that they will do so by tuning in to Jeremiah's links below and checking him out on FENIX 360. And I'm really glad that you're an ambassador for FENIX 360. Thank you for joining me today, Jeremiah. And I wish you the very best of luck with the projects you're involved in, and for a bright future ahead.
thank you so much for having me, John.
Jeremiah, thanks for being here. Take care, man. Computer. I'm gonna stop the recording now. That's awesome.